Hello everyone, welcome to our update. Fear is the worst enemy of mankind. It masterminds all the negativity in our lives. It is one of the strongest emotions that struggles for dominance in our mind. Fear will kill your dreams, visions, health, and even take your life. Every successful person had to conquer this fear of failure to an extent in order to succeed. Suki Kasim said that fear kills more dreams than failure ever will. What are you afraid of? Poverty, death, failure? Science shows that humans are born with two innate fears, which includes the fear of falling and of loud noise, while others are learned from experience and, of course, the consciousness of the harmful nature of our environment. Unfortunately, some environments promote fear more than the others, especially in some African countries where there is high degree of insecurities, where people are afraid of being kidnapped from their doorsteps or death by medical lapses. So these individuals have to live with these fears that have been created by loopholes in governance. Fear is introduced through what we see or hear. I was raised by a mom who wouldn't let you watch any terrible scene in her house. I didn't understand why until I watched the podcast of a neuroscientist who said that she doesn't watch the news and that many of her colleagues don't because it's mostly dominated with scenes that don't serve the mind. Wow. Pay attention to what you feed your mind because what you feed it is what it will serve you. I have observed that in most cases, people that have loved ones that have suffered from terrible illnesses tend to repeat the same pattern. Medical practice tells us that it runs in their DNA. Well, I'm not here to dispute science, but I have noticed that even people that are not blood related experience the same pattern. This is because these individuals have heard or seen their friends or family suffer from these illnesses, that they have familiarized themselves with the symptoms and stages. So much so that they are now very convinced that it is real, which makes them a possible host or prey. This is why I ask, what are you feeding your mind? Fear is a terrible killer. Most of the people that have died while ill were killed by fear, not even the illness. How does fear operate? So it gives you a feeling of anxiety and you begin to dwell on it. So let's say you're married and you've just engaged in a conversation on infidelity that triggered the fear. Instead of dwelling on it, just tell yourself, no, I am blessed with the best partner ever. They're too committed to cheat. As simple and as ignorant as this might sound, it will deter the fear. But if you start to nurture it, it will start to stir up insecurity and its relative. And if you do not stop yourself, it will start providing you with action points like confront them, sneak up on them, check their phones. Now, if you make the mistake of carrying out these action points, it will strike you with your worst nightmare, which might be losing your home. Always pay attention to the fact that fear is a very strong emotion that has a high tendency to pressure you, especially if you have just seen or heard something that recently triggered it. Do not ignore or shove it off. The trick would be to counter it with your words. Even if you have just watched your loved one die of cancer and you start feeling anxious, tell yourself, nope, I can't have cancer. We might be blood related, but my immune system is too strong to breed cancer. And just in case you mistakenly nurture this fear by researching on it or having conversations around it, please, please, and please do not act on the action points, because next thing it would convince you to start pressing your breast for lumps. Leave it alone. You heard me. Leave it to rest. There are no lumps there. You do not have cancer. Because once you succumb to this fear, next thing it would do would be to strike you with your worst nightmare, which is cancer. And you don't want that. Best way to deal with fear: avoid scenarios or conversations that will trigger it. Peradventure it gets triggered, do not dwell on it. But if you unconsciously nurture it, please do not act on it. In fact, rule of thumb, never act on a fear, because every time you do, the result will be bad news. If you grab a pen and a paper and reflect on your life, the times that you lost valuable things, relationships, jobs, you will realize that you entertained, nurtured, consciously or subconsciously acted on a fear. Fear will not dwell on your mind if you do not let it. So consciously occupy your mind with positive thoughts that makes you feel right, happy, and joyful. Finally, Job said in the scripture, "The things that I fear most have come upon me," which means that everything that we fear has a high tendency of befalling us. However, I learned that fear not is written 365 times in the scripture, which means that God is saying to you and I every day of our lives, fear not. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please like, subscribe, and share. Be blessed. Bye.